Amy from Doodle Dog Design. Today I'm going to show you how to add a three-dimensional arm to a punch needle figure. Let's get started. To make the three-dimensional arms on figures, you want to punch the arm separate than the figure. Here I've punched a bunny and I punched its arm separately. Then you want to trim the weaver's cloth around the arm to about a 1/4 inch or so, and then snip inside the inner corners right up close to the punching, but not into the punching. Now I'm going to iron the weaver's cloth to the back. Okay, after you get the weaver's cloth all ironed on to the back side, you want to cut a piece of felted wool that's the same size and shape, and we're going to sew these two pieces together. We're going to be sewing the two together with a needle and thread, and it's best to choose a thread color that blends in fairly well with the backing, because on the front the loops will hide the stitching on the front, but you'll be able to see it on the back. So I'm going to take my needle, I have it double threaded and a knot at the end, and I'm going to put it in underneath the weaver's cloth here that's folded over to come out right at the edge there. And then I'm going to hold back the floss and just whip stitch around. You want to be careful as you go to not get any of the loops, the punched loops in the string. This is the same method that I use for finishing bow fillers by hand, or sometimes I use on just adding a wool backing to a finished punch needle project. I could add a stiff interfacing in between my layer of wool and weaver's cloth, or a piece of thin cardboard, but I'm going to be attaching this to the bunny in such a way that it's just barely hanging off the edge, so it will be fine. I'm going to show you how to add the arm if you're hand sewing the project together or if you are machine sewing it together. So if you're hand sewing it together, you want to start at on the side that you're going to place the arm, and I have sewn up that entire side and left the other side open so that I can work from the back side here to sew the arm on. So I'm going to figure out where I want the arm and then use the same thread that matches. I have my needle threaded with the matching thread and a knot in the end, and I'm just going to come up from the back. I'm going to start over here at the edge of the bunny here, and then work my way around as I stitch. So I'm going to bring my needle up, catch the edge of the arm, and then take the needle back down to the back. And because I left this open here on this front side, it'll also allow me to, I'm going to add a bead nose and some whiskers. So I can do all that now that this side is sewn up in an easy way because I have this opening over here. As you're doing this, it's kind of easy to get the arm out of place, so it's good to make sure it's in the right place. As you're stitching. When you get to the end, you can just tie off the string. Now she's got an arm, and that's perfect for holding something three-dimensional, a carrot or a cabbage, or I actually have some shovel and a rake. I'm going to use one of those to attach to her arm, but I'll do that later after I finish sewing her up. And there's that bunny all finished. If you're going to sew a figure together with the sewing machine instead of by hand, you put the right sides together, the wool and the punch needle, and you sew all the way around with your zipper foot, and I'll link below to a blog post that I have showing you how to do that. And then after you sew all the way around, you can cut a slit in the back of the figure in the wool. That's what I've done here, and then turn and press. And so through this hole in the back, you can add the arm, and you're going to sew it on just like you did before by catching the very edges and sewing all the way around here and leaving this part unsewn. Then I'm going to stuff it and stitch up the hole, and then I'm going to add a little piece of wool here that matches to cover up my stitching. And here's this bunny with his arm sewn on, and now he's got the carrot attached. Okay, I've also made this Uncle Sam bowl filler, and he has a three-dimensional arm, and he's carrying this little flag. And this Valentine bunny, he also has a three-dimensional arm, and he's holding a punch needle heart that's been trimmed with a little bit of lace. And this Valentine bunny too, she has a three-dimensional arm where she's holding a little heart balloon. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe below and hit the like button. I'll see you next time. Bye.